I know that there's so many people out there who believe that doctors purposefully steer us in the wrong direction so that they can make money off of our medication, that they can make money off of our surgeries. I actually don't believe that that happens as much as we think it does. Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, and the reason I make these videos is to help you to understand that your mental health and physical health need to come together to create that overall sense of well-being. If you find these videos helpful, consider subscribing. I can confidently say that I don't believe that the average doctor is aware that food companies add extra sugar and have food scientists like creating these experiments to find out what's the best combination of sugar, fat, salt, chemicals to make something taste amazing so that we would eat it. I can honestly say I don't think the average doctor knows that. I can honestly say that I don't think the average doctor knows that food companies invest so much money in the packaging to make sure that when you walk down the grocery aisle, their product is going to jump off the shelf and like be in your face and you're going to want to buy it, especially if you've tried it before, or that it's going to make your kids want to buy it even if they've never tried it before, depending on who they're aiming at in their advertising. I don't think most doctors know that. And I really don't think that most doctors know that the average person shouldn't eat more than 125 grams of carbs in a day, and that a sick person shouldn't eat more than 20 grams of carbs in a day. I really don't think the average doctor knows that. How can I so confidently say that? Two reasons. Reason number one, most doctors are overweight. The frequency of overweight doctors and the frequency of overweight people is about the same. It's not like most doctors are thin and everybody else is overweight. Many doctors have medical issues, just like us. It's not a situation where they have information and they're withholding it from us so that we can be sick and then give them money. I'm saying like this is not, I'm talking generally, that I think most doctors fall into this category. Am I going to say that there aren't a few that might do that? Well, the same way that I would say that there's a few people who are thieves and there's a few people that are murderers and there's a few, right? Like randomly in the world. But do I think that it's the job of doctors to do this to us? No. What's the second reason I can say why I'm so confident that's the case? Because I wasn't aware. How many people came into my office and asked me for advice on weight loss? And I was giving them the same information that I was giving myself, which is eat fewer calories, exercise more. So eat less, move more, right? And it was wrong information. And I didn't know that I was giving wrong information. So I don't believe that most doctors are purposefully doing this. With that being said, I want you guys to understand that once doctors understand the mistake that's being made, they also, most of them, act on it. So here's the thing. As a doctor, doctors are there to help you to get better. And especially in Canada, your visit to the doctor is covered by Medicare. We pay nothing out of pocket for most of our interventions. So whether I speak to you and you leave and you do better, or I speak to you and you take a medication and you do better, I'm getting paid anyway. So for most doctors, that's not a big deal. But if I can help more clients to do better, then I have fewer people that are suffering, and that's amazing. See, the thing that I think that most people don't understand is that when doctors know the answer, they give the answer. Now, the problem is that many doctors don't know the answer because the paradigm is wrong. We are looking at this whole weight loss thing in such an upside down way that we don't even realize that it's upside down. And don't get me wrong, doctors are smart. If you specifically ask them a question, what do carbohydrates do in the body, for example, or do carbohydrates cause inflammation? Or right, if you ask them a specific question, yes, they know the answer. But to put it back together and say, like, to put the pieces of the puzzle in place and say, oh, wow, that is leading to that, is leading to that, is leading to that, is leading to that, is leading to, oh my goodness, 20 years down the line, that's where the problem is. Because the paradigm that we've always been given is, as doctors, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm just talking about the paradigm that I was given as a psychologist is similar. This is the problem. These are the things we do for that kind of problem. This is the problem. These are the kind of things we do for that kind of problem. But it's rarely This is the problem. This is what caused it. Solve that thing, and then this thing is no longer there. So we never, as doctors, they're not being taught to go for the thing that caused it, eliminate that, and then the weight issue will fall away, or the cardiac issue will fall away, or the, right? Paradigm shift is what we're aiming at here. And how does that happen? It happens when doctors or psychologists like myself end up in the same situation that their clients were in. When I got into the situation that my clients were in, so I had excess weight and I was trying to work on it, I did all the things that I told my clients to do. And like 7 years later, I was still overweight. When I got into the situation where I had an inflammation problem and I tried to figure out what causes inflammation, and then I figured out what caused inflammation, which is carbohydrates, and I took them out of my life, not only did the inflammation problem resolve itself, but so did the weight problem, so did the joint problem, so did the back problem, so did all these other issues that I was living with from since my early 20s get resolved when I was in a few months. That's the part that's crazy. In a few months, in my 46th year. When doctors know the answer, when psychologists know the answer, when health professionals know the answer, we tend to share the answer. Because guess what? You can't help someone attain their goal if you don't know how to help them attain their goal. If we are all working under this misunderstanding that calories in equals calories out, then we are all working under the misunderstanding that the only way to lose weight is to reduce the amount of calories. Calories have nothing to do with it. If you actually want to lose weight, you need to reduce the amount of carbohydrates. But by reducing the amount of carbohydrates, you don't necessarily reduce your amount of calories. See, here's the funny thing. Today I'm in maintenance and I eat more calories today than I've ever eaten in my entire life. Why? Because I eat my calories from a fat source, not a carb source. So my weight is stable and I'm eating more calories. We need to eliminate this idea that calories are what matter. Calories is a man-made idea of how to measure something. It's not a body understanding of food. When we understand what carbohydrates do in the body, we do better. When we understand that our body preferentially would love to be working on fat, so functioning by burning fat for fuel, we do better. But if we give it carbohydrates, it has no choice but to burn those carbohydrates first because they're toxic in the system. And if we don't allow ourselves to understand that piece of information, we keep making the same mistake. Because the calories in a cookie are not equivalent to the calories in a bite of steak. They're not. The calories in a cookie are not equivalent to the calories in a tablespoon of olive oil. They're not. If we don't understand that piece of information, we keep making the same mistake. What's really problematic is that if the professionals in your life do not have a good understanding of nutrition, of carbohydrates' influence on weight and health, on hormones' influence on weight and health, they will have a hard time guiding you in living a healthier lifestyle. They'll have a hard time guiding you in regulating your weight. If you want to do better, you need to find yourself a therapist, a doctor, professionals in the weight and health industry and that understand how carbohydrates affect the body, how hormones are related to your weight and to your health. So finding a low carb friendly, keto friendly doctor is going to be high on the list of things for you to try to accomplish because your health matters, and being at a healthy weight with good internal mechanisms happening, so your body functioning its best, fueling yourself best, and building the best quality body that you can is important. And we can only do that if we understand how food affects us. Your doctor isn't doing this on purpose, but at the same time, if your doctor is unaware, the information you're getting is skewed. Wellness warriors prioritize health over taste. So get out there and put your health first. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe. Click the bell so you know whenever my next videos are coming out. If anyone would like to contribute to the production of future videos, you can go to Patreon/Violet Rivera. I really love talking to my wellness warriors. It like brings me a lot of pleasure, and all you new people too. I love it when I see new names in the comments. Comment. Tell me about your experiences with your doctors. Do they understand keto the way that we want them to understand keto, or low carb, whatever it happens to be that you're doing? What did they tell you about your food and what you should be doing to improve your health? Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.